happened with Georgia's offense versus Alabama? Let's show you. Brent Rollins, Dayne Young, UGAsports.com. This is Film Don't Lie, presented by Breda Pest Management, ASW Distillery, and Oconee Gold Barbecue Sauce. We'll tell you more about them later. We have 26 offensive clips here, so let's get rolling on this. Brent, I don't need some preamble. I just want plays here early on, both offensively and defensively. Georgia willing to take shots in this game.
It was clear that that was their plan. It was clear that, hey, we're going to attack and attack down the field and attack through the air. We think that's where our advantage is. And they had it. They just didn't execute, except for the first play. When, to me, this is the best version of Lovett and Beck, is him working the middle of the field in a one-on-one situation and Beck hitting a rhythm throw over the middle of the field. That, to me, is just where he thrives more than anything, which is why I also think that him in the NFL might actually be a little bit different, more so than college, because of how much the NFL is becoming over the middle game. But we'll see. Rolling after the drive that Alabama had, now you're rolling.
You're rolling here. And I just want to point out just the little action here after a stutter from ETN. Jaws linebacker, middle of the field open. Using your back to move the backer. Happens a lot in this game. Sometimes Carson Beck hit it. Sometimes he didn't. That's called a tease, my friends. We all saw this. There's not a whole lot to say other than in games like this, you got to catch it, Arian. This is perfect.
Yep. This is as good as it gets. And when you think about the game, 4 and 2 connected, and they didn't. And 11 and 8 didn't make the last play for Georgia. So.
And it just makes you wonder, if he catches this, does it just change? What's the butterfly effect of changing the tenor, the energy, the momentum of this game?
Yeah. Do you take a breath from your perspective as Georgia, and now you're in the game and you just feel good about the game versus the steamroll that happened after this? But the amazing part about it is, so this is 1st and 10. You dial up a shot play. Okay, fine. You miss it. Let's come back 2nd and 10. Let's stay positive. Okay, we'll do that. Get something quick. Get the ball to the playmaker.
And
Screen
that playmaker
game
is
Trevor Etienne.
Mr. Etienne, number 1.
Now, let's pause it right when he catches the ball. A little bit before. Got to go back. It went really fast on us for some reason. Right when he catches the ball, boom. Are there linemen pulling out? Like we see Georgia run the tunnel screens. They're pass proing right now. So this is not a tunnel screen. This is not a get back inside, get up the middle thing. This is go inside for the first block and then get your hind end back outside. Like, I'll take him one-on-one against that corner and maybe breaking that tackle, maybe doing something with it. But guess where all the defense is?
You're running to them.
You're running right into them.
Yeah.
And by the way, heck of a play by Fairchild hustling down and seeing the ball. But that's one where it's like, okay, cut in and then get outside. And it's like, okay, you work on I know the instincts sometimes take over, but you just got to know in your head the call that there's nobody coming else out to block. And by the way, we're going to see screen issues, but I think go ahead 1. I tried to flip it and I don't think it flipped. Go ahead 1. So we had 3rd and 6. So, okay.
Yeah, you're right.
You're in 3rd and 6. And they go, man, single high. So when you think of that, what do you think about in terms of what do you want to do? This is basketball. It's matchups. Okay. What kind of matchup do I want? And I think this is one that Carson Beck's going to want to have back in terms of choice of matchups. Now, Lovett, gets the OPI and makes the catch. And that's actually, by the way, a really good throw. Like, this is, one of it better throws, lets him make a play on the ball. He just had the shove off. But pause it right about now. If I'm in this situation, can I win against linebackers? That's why, especially 3rd and 6 when it's quick. Delp has won. That's a win right there. There are 3 men rushing you. Let's put that on his outside shoulder. First down.
And 36,
Cash Jones
gets you a first down. Yeah, Cash coming on the other side.
You got a little bit of a rub. Now you're against the backer. The rub delays that. Boom, check it. Yeah, like, and the thing that was interesting about this, and when you look at the entirety of the game, was there's so much where it's like, okay, quick decision. And on this, if you're going to throw that ball, it obviously has to be a quick decision. But like, to me, there were just better decisions here.
I do want to point out a personnel thing because this came up multiple times of why is Cash Jones playing a lot, not Nate Frazier? Cash Jones is your best receiving running back on the team. Cash Jones.
Nate had a couple drops in the opener.
Cash Jones is a good blocker. He's your third down running back in situations, especially a 3rd and 21 like this.
Yep.
So that's his role.
And Etienne had just fumbled the ball.
Yeah. And I understand what people were saying, though. Like, we saw Nate Frazier against Clemson. You need to play him more. And I still think you need to play Branson Robinson more. You just haven't seen that running game develop for Georgia, but you get down 28 points.
Everything gets thrown out. Then it's how can we get back in the game as quick as possible?
At this point, only down 7, but I wanted to make that personnel clarification on what Cash's playing time versus others' playing time.
So okay, you've missed a deep ball. You've made sort of a bad cut in 2nd down. You've made what I would say is a questionable decision on 3rd down. You get a penalty. Now you're 3rd and 21. Okay, what are you going to call? This is a phenomenal call. Like, they rotate to a cover 3 single high, and you get your big receiver on the corner 1-on-1. Give him a chance. Like,
that is like the tarp out of bounds, not just out of bounds, but to the tarp.
And the sad part about the sort of frustrating part about this, especially if you're a coach, is the route. It's not like he's bending the route to the sideline. He doesn't do it till very late. So Beck has room to throw the ball. The ball's already out. Like, he's staying sort of on the line. You want that sort of number up the outside part of the numbers so you can give the quarterback room. He just didn't give him a chance to make a play.
Yeah. That was,
but that's still like, that's again, when you talk about, I know most always point to the offensive coordinator, and on rewatch for me, it's just like this, the what's dialed up, and we're going to see it consistently, is just winning plays. So, okay, now they're up 14-0 because you can't stop them.
Now we get
what do you go
back on the move here a little bit.
And this, we've seen this a little bit more this year. And you got a levels concept, and it's just a miss on the run. Like, I know Herb Street pointed out on the broadcast that the corner almost picked it. It kind of, he's sitting in cover 3, and then sees what's going on. I think it was thrown maybe just a hair early in terms of that guy being able to get involved in the play, but still, just right there, put that on him.
Yeah.
He now, is that a great catch if he makes it? Would you like to see him make the catch? Yes, but still, like, that's just have a better ball right there. And the other part, go ahead.
There are definitely times in this game where Georgia's skill guys let back down. This is one where I wouldn't put the blame in that way.
I mean, yeah, but this is like when you see him throwing the run, especially throwing to his right down the field, we're going to see a couple more misses. But still, that's a great play call. You had an open guy for a 15-yard-ish, 16-yard gain. You didn't make the play, didn't execute. So now we're 2nd and 10.
Couple tight ends blocking here for ETN.
This is, I mean, I actually love the call in terms of the design of the play. You basically you're running counter with both your tight end and then your other tight end as a fullback position. Now you're opening up to the same side because I think most of their play action is built on that. But Dayne, just out of curiosity, where are 4 and 7 going?
I mean, either they're going the wrong way or one's going the wrong way.
I get the instincts, and this is where I would have loved to have seen him open up to his left, and then so Etienne kind of pulls back the other way. But he's just seeing that and just thinks, oh, there's a hole. But guess what? There's a guy, because they run a nice little game and get it inside of your guard tackle combo. But if you're following 4 and 7, you at least have something. Like,
this almost looks like a play that Alabama would have called for Milrow, because then you would have Milrow here with
and those two guys
blockers here, but you don't have.
And they'll probably steal it, by the way.
Yeah,
they're probably 100% stealing that.
and I'm going to say this till the cows come home. Georgia has to have mobile quarterbacks from this point forward. It's just not. You don't have to have Milroe. There aren't many of those. This is Lamar Jackson type of guy.
Yeah, he's one of one.
If you're going to be
in terms
running
of that size speed combo,
if you're going to be running, read option stuff with a quarterback's got to be able to run.
but still, like that's a solid call. Just follow your blocks. By the way, also go back to that. And this is one where, all right, Dylan Bell, whiff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at least get something there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could have something there. All right, so now we're in third down again. This is a phenomenal check by Beck. Like you're in 3rd and 8, and you check to a screen, tunnel screen here, and I don't know how the communication, but if he catches this ball, it's him versus the safety that's kind of coming over towards the logo right here. That's the only thing preventing a touchdown on this play, because you've got 3 guys coming out to, and you got another guy already out there. You got 4 guys to block 2, and maybe, just maybe, Wilson or Micah Morris gets turned around a little bit on that safety, but it's a great check, great play, and then you just miscommunicate, and it turns in. Not only does it turn into catastrophe.
It did, and
he sees the blitz. Like all that's perfect. They bring the house. Great, that's perfect. That's exactly what you want.
But
and then you just
didn't know about it.
Like you just that's got to be so frustrating. So think 3 drives in now, or really about 8 to 10, about 10, 11 plays in, and you've missed so much stuff already, and then all of a sudden you're down 21-zip.
This is Carson Beck and Arian Smith. It's not like they haven't played football together for a long time.
Yeah, both of them are 5-year guys. And it's, who knows? I mean, obviously the atmosphere was next level. Like anybody who's never been to an SEC game, that's as good as it gets in terms of atmospheres, and especially given the enormity of the game. But this is just like, wow. And I think Carson saw it and is trying to maybe throw it to him a little bit, and thinking maybe he turns his head, but no, it just catastrophe.
Now this begins what in the rewatch, and I don't get into much hyperbole because it gets you in trouble in this line of work.
Yes.
This is one of the most catastrophic sequences that I can remember in Georgia football, the last 3 minutes of the second quarter of this game against Alabama. You always talk about the importance of the middle 8, and Georgia, even going, Donna said this when we were on the watch along show, even going in 28-7, getting the ball back, that's not great, but it'd be fine.
Well, you're 30 yards from being in field goal range ish, like not far.
Yeah.
Like you get 28-10 and you run it down, they get nothing, and you at least feel like, okay, hey, we just got to clean it up and we'll be okay. But, this is a good
point. This is a good point here, because 3 minutes to go, second quarter. We get late in the game. I'm skipping ahead here a little bit, but you had 2 timeouts at the end. You're at the 20-yard line. You have like 45 seconds. You don't have to have it all here.
No.
You absolutely do not. You going empty in this spot, that it's over aggressive to me. It's not using your best players in the best ways.
Well, it's also one where, like, what happened the play before this? Like, I think the 4th down stop was the play before this, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Because this is one, like, you stop them on 4th down.
Yep.
We're going to look at that on the defensive one. Daniel Harris, Dirty Dan Jackson make a great play on 4th down. And you're like, ooh, okay. Let's go score 28-14 and get the ball.
Get the ball back, ball momentum. Game. You can see
all that. And then this. And this one is as bad as it gets. I can't describe or even wonder what he saw or didn't see, but that dude is, now I will say he quickly turns and maybe assuming there's nobody there, but that's whew. That was more of a, I think the coverage is going to be this. And the saddest part about this is they only rushed 3. He dropped 8. Like this. And if you think, okay, well, where could the ball have gone on this play? There's only one possible place, I think, and that's Delp. So if you slow it down, if you stay good, you're clean here, boom. Is he breaking like right over top of those 2 guys and underneath the corner because you're getting a go route from Cash?
Because you had time.
And that guy's bailing.
It wasn't like you had to get rid of it.
That's I think when I watch the totality of the 4 games, I got to get rid of it, or I'm drifting and moving in a clean pocket that I don't need to drift and or move around. That's been the biggest somewhat disappointment for me, that I thought would take a massive step up where there'd be more comfort and more confidence in the pocket. Now I think he's maneuvered the pocket well and broken from the pocket and not taking really bad sacks, but just a lot of, anyway. Yeah, that's bad.
Okay.
That one was bad.
That happens. All right. Minute 54 left.
And then you stare this one down. Ooh, they showed it, the up close of his eyes on the broadcast. And you're like, oh, that should be like,
that almost right there.
That almost was nail in the coffin right there. That's anticipating things versus seeing things. And yeah, got away with one. And what's sad is all of that bad. Okay, he just had that pick, and then you come back next throw. Literally next throw is because Dan Jackson interception, almost pick, and then this play. This is the underrated play of the game. This is a touchdown.
Yep.
And their guy who's bailing to get in the middle of the field just is backpedaling straight up and then the other guy gets run right by. You've got a clean pocket. And this is one he wants back, because you put that out in front, then it's a race to the end zone. Now I will say
he wants back in a string of about 5 that he needed to want back.
Yeah. All right, so if it's hard to see, all right, go right before he throws it, right as he sort of steps in the throw. This is something to me that I'm a little bit more consistently seeing. But pause it right as he's kind of stepped out a little bit. Right as he steps, a little bit more there. Look where he is. Based on his body, where would you think the ball would be going? To the left half.
You're going here. I'm just going wide open, dude. Over here is what I would have gone.
No. I'm talking about him from a mechanical.
You're saying shoulders and hips are going this way.
Foot, shoulders, hips, all that are there. That look more left hash. Ball goes right hash, and what it does is I don't know if it's like it just makes the ball die a little bit, but if I'm watching him, his footwork has just been off. Where that was one of the things to me last year when you watched him, it was as clean as it could get in terms of footwork, moving the pocket, all the, we talked about last year on Film Don't Lie, the QB drills galore that you teach and all the little movements in the pocket, reset, all that stuff. That was him, almost borderline robotic, and his footwork's just been off. And that ball's, that's a big miss. And by the way, think about that call. You hit that.
So that ball, that ball lands here. It probably needs to be lofted somewhere around here.
I have a thought, semi-take thought that I'm workshopping a little bit. We'll get to it later when we talk about Kobe Young. But
I love a little take workshop.
It's a movie reference, so we'll get to it.
Well, I hope I've seen the movie. Otherwise, this is going to be awkward.
I think you have. You have.
Don't trust that. I don't watch a whole lot of movies because I watch a lot of.
It's an older movie.
Okay,
it's an older movie. So that makes
a Star Wars reference on the Peach State Power Hour with Paul and Eddie and Andy.
Yeah, I don't do that. Sorry.
I don't either. I just did the original 3. Better than.
Do you like this call, by the way? The call, the safety call, the pass interference call, or the.
Are you meaning from the ref standpoint of it being the correct call?
Yeah. They, by the way, they just beat you right here. You went deep shot because you think about it, you're trying to win the game. But I will say, you're trying to think, how can I get back in the game? It would have been nice just to have a little quick out route there, or quick, just get it to him, because they brought 8 and you always couldn't block them. But this is where, to me, refs have to see what's actually happening here. Like, that's a go route. Like, there's 2 go route. He's the one go route, basically. The other one's too slow on the other side. And he's throwing the go route, and he knows he has to get rid of it quick, and he knows he can't just throw it up for grabs.
I mean, maybe if
he
runs
gets
it
knocked
out,
and stops.
but he doesn't.
Like,
run
I think
it
if
out
he,
here, so.
I think if he keeps running, you don't get that call. But that's like, he can't control that from the QB. Like, if he just keeps running through that and like, hey, I'm trying to get deep, and then the ball's maybe 6 yards from him instead of 15, I don't think they make the call. But he kind of stops. Bell, I think that is Dylan Bell.
It's Dylan Bell on that side. I think it's the correct call from the refs. That's intentional grounding. Not out of the pocket, not a receiver in the area. If the receiver gets down in the area,
letter of the law, but I don't.
I can understand.
Offensive guy, I don't want the call.
Yeah, but I guess I don't want a quarterback having that much control.
I will say, once you, in terms of, all right, if I could nitpick on certain calls and things, a couple things later, and a couple things in the running game that I don't understand. But this is one where it's like, okay, he's just about thrown another pick 6. He just missed a touchdown that you called up. All right, let's just get out of Dodge or throw something quick.
I mean, frankly, just
kind of thing.
Yeah, do something short and let Thorson get out there and try to
punt,
get out.
Punt and minimize damage, kind of thing. Obviously, you got lucky that it was just a safety, and then they didn't score again. Well, they didn't score, but
because giving up the 2 points here changed a lot of the math for the second half of the game, of when do you go for 2, and then what order do you try to sequence things. This is a massive swing at this point. And again, what I think was just about a minute and a half of some of the most catastrophic offense I can remember at Georgia.
Yeah.
This, if you want to point to a moment in the game where Georgia absolutely lost it, and yet you want to say it was the 28-0 Georgia's defense not making tackles, we're going to talk about that too. To me, it's this sequence here. Because you had an avenue to get back in it, and still got a lead late in the game. I get all that.
Yeah.
This right here is where Georgia
the pick
lost
before this was just that was the dagger.
The last 3 plays that we showed, that's where Georgia lost this game. Found a way to get back in it. Good for Georgia.
Yes. All right, so you come out of the half. Get it. Boom. You get on the move again, and
Now, see, this one I thought he put on Delp, whereas a similar one earlier to Dylan Bell, I didn't think he put it on him that well. This is got to be brought in.
It does, but the ball also kind of just dies and allows the DB getting back into it. And the thing with that is, I get the quickness with which you want the ball out, but sometimes just step in, stop and throw it. But I agree that this has got to be caught. But again, that's another big play that you could have had. Like, that's a 20-yard gain if he just catches it and gets tackled. Like, ideally to me, he just kind of knowing the DB's right there, shields a little bit and tries to maybe catch it on the inside part of the field versus going back to but he had to just literally put on the brakes to catch the ball. And the kid made a great play to knock it out. But again, great call. You get him on the move, play action, by the way. I wish they wouldn't have given up on that as much. So,
well, and formation note, because we've seen this twice just in the videos that we've played.
Yep, I love the pistol look.
Yeah, and you've been calling for the pistol for a year now. I like,
especially with him, because I think you can do so much out of play action with him when your QB's not a running threat.
Yeah,
but still, all right. So you get 2nd and 10. Here's another one where it's just like, oh my, so close.
Another
pause it
when he trust.
Pause it right there. Oh, you can't, just a little bit back, because you can see they get them all out. There's 3 to like, they got numbers galore right here. And I think 22 spooks love it a little bit, instead of just him saying hitting the gas and getting through that. If he just hits the gas, I think he's going to outrun 22 straight ahead, goes in and gets inside, because he's got to know, like, the guy's coming to block him, and he runs right into where the block is.
Well, this is also trust on a defensive back. Got to do better than that.
I agree. But his thing is ideally all I got to do is hit him, and then my guy's behind, coming in behind me. Again, so close.
But I wouldn't say he really hit him.
No. Yeah, no, not we're not gonna get that. But again, great call. So close to a humongous play.
Yeah.
84 even does his job here a little bit.
Point being, Mike Bobo bashers, not a whole lot here you can really bash from what was called. My opinion.
That's like
I'm not speaking
that
for
one.
you.
Well, that's the rewatch for me. Think about the situations that was put in. Maybe not. I've overstated 84 a little bit there, but he needed to get his head on the inside instead of the right side, left side. But think head on the left side of the defender.
Last year's 84 better blocker.
A little bit, yes, a little bit. But think about the situation, and we just talked about how you had those misses, and then all of a sudden you're down 21-0. Because you're not trying. This is not a, hey, we're just going to try to save face here. You're trying to win the game, and there was call after call after call where it's just like, okay, that's a big play. That's a big play. That should have been a big play, and we're showing a lot of those. So, but anyway, all right, 2nd and 10, third and 6 again.
If you weren't already mad about the end of that second quarter sequence, when you saw running horizontal Carson Beck, needed a yard more, needed 1 yard more.
That's a know thyself. What is it? Coach Donnan always says, is it Socrates? Know thyself.
Know thyself.
Know that you are way better running straight than you are running side to side, quickest distance between, because they blitz and they give you the lane.
I don't know what coaches said after this, but all I know if Stetson Bennett did this, you would have seen the tongue lashing on the sideline. The cameras would have been on that. I don't think that's always the case with Carson Beck, but yeah, if you were already not feeling great about the performance, if this almost was the nail in the coffin. But then, here come the dogs. And Carson Beck looks like none of that ever happened.
Yeah, and that's hit one more. Hit one more. I think it's out of order a little bit. So here we go. 2nd 10. You're still down 30-7. Defense is now buckled up a little bit. RPO game. This, to me, should be an attachment to every zone type running play they have, so you can just do this, because he's great at it. He's great at seeing it and the quickness of getting the ball out.
Great job by Arian, blocking, staying in front of your man, not getting hold.
Love it, makes a play.
Like yep.
Yes. Like now you're in business.
This was attacking space, and it's something that Georgia tried to do a lot in this game and was unsuccessful because some poor passes, some poor catches.
And you think of the youth in their secondary. Like, these are things where it's like, okay, make those guys make tackles. I think 16 was a freshman, if I'm not mistaken. And then we got to go. There we go. Yeah. And then beautiful play action.
Perfect.
Like, create space.
This was
back on play action.
Donnan called this live. He said this is going to be a fake toss it over the top to Arian.
Which, by the way, one other side note. I don't know that we show any of it here. I think it's time to throw the quick toss out of the rotation unless you're just running it once so you can run pass plays off of it. They just don't block it well enough anymore. They don't have the guys that can consistently block that play well enough at both tight end and receiver.
Fair point.
So that was the couple of times we've seen it recently. It's just been a miss for me. But this was beautiful. In rhythm. Boom. All right. Click forward, I think. Yep. Yeah, got out of order a little bit. There we go. Yep. So now get back, 33-15, hanging around, checking protection, seeing the coverage, seeing their man, and just great ball placement. Now, I will say this, but go ahead.
4th and 6, I want to point out that, Georgia was dreadful on 3rd down in this game. 4th down, perfect. And
perfect.
This is an NFL level throw.
It's not an NFL level route. I think that's one of the things watching Bell. like you see so many of those guys in the league and the great receivers at the top, right before he breaks into the slant, give that little something, lean in or a little twitch to the outside. He just kind of runs to the slant, and yes, he beats them. But I think you create a greater level of separation if you give a little bit of stutter and lean to the outside on the break. But still, great throw. Pick up the fourth down, and you get moving again.
Well, and I'll set this up too, because there's one in a minute. I'm in a Twitter fight right now because that's just what I do these days, I guess. ETN out here, bring it here, come in behind.
Yep.
Beck sees
and you
it.
got to, by the way, to see the route from Anthony Evans on the other side. Hey, we saw that play earlier. Like,
Yep.
Delp out. Like, this is the same stuff we saw 3rd and 6 that Lovett got the PI on. Basically the same thing.
Note that. We'll come back.
This one was bad. Like,
and there's the fumble. This was Georgia was likely in the driver's. Well, I don't say you see the score. Made it really, 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 really hard after this.
Yes. I mean, granted, now the next drive, I think they scored in like 3 plays, and that's the only thing that helped them, I think, much like against Ohio State. But this, all right, so
can I point out one route issue? You pointed out one from Bell. I want to point out Evans here. What are we doing there?
You getting hit.
You trying to create separation because you get caught up there. You're quick
right,
and twitchy. Just go.
So first off, go back to the snap. They're sort of now they're split safetying it here. And now you've got to your left side. So you go left side, you got 3 over 2. So it's a 2x2. They kind of balance out a little bit. 3 over 2 on each side. 3 defenders, 2 receivers, 3 defenders, 2 receivers on each side. Pause it. So where you want to look? The middle of the field. And this is the thing that to me is, I mentioned earlier. Why are you leaving clean pockets? Like, you've got a format. You are perfectly protected there because roll it back just a little bit. Right now, you're throwing that ball to Oscar Delp. Like that space, you've got perfect protection. Zip, zoom. He catches it right there. You throw it right as soon as right before the break.
And there's not even a defender in front of you to be spooked by. Sometimes you see a linebacker crashing in. It's not here.
This is the thing that I mentioned, I think even against Tennessee Daggone Tech. The balance between, and we were talking about the check down. Didn't take the check down right before the half to cash. You don't have to be a playmaker when you're great in structure. Go be great in structure. Play to your strengths. His strength is a in structure, in rhythm quarterback. Go be that. And because when you do this, you're missing throws on the run and getting the ball knocked out.
You hit me with a daggone. That's how I know we mean business tonight. 3rd and 3. I believe I've set this up enough.
I think we've set this play up enough.
Linebacker here, following one.
This is easy money.
Go.
Take it.
I have people on Twitter, Brent, telling me that this safety is in position to pick this ball off and have a pick 6.
No.
And if you can't make this throw, you can't play in the SEC.
Yeah.
Carson Beck makes this throw a ton. We just saw it.
And even if you and it's not like you have to lead him really. Just put it on him. He's 6'3" against a guy who's, 2-3 inches shorter than him.
And it looks like, it's hard to tell from this angle, right? I don't know where his eyes really are, but just it looks like there's a peak at least at first. Like you at least see the linebacker going.
So we think about offensive coordinator calling plays and things like that. There are certain plays where the ball is going one spot. There are plays like this where you've got ideally who's your progression guy, a pure progression. Hey, we're going to go to 1 to 2 to 3, or it's hey, where's the matchup you want? And it's choice, and it's QB choice a lot of times. Now, headset, things like that. I don't know how that's working exactly, and that's the thing to love it when we've talked about even when he transferred, like he was money at Missouri on that route, the smash route, sort of deep fade from the slot position. But when you play against teams like Alabama who can match up with him and him not just run by them, it makes that a jump ball situation. And I don't like that's not his strength. His strength is winning early and winning with speed. It's not winning contested catch situations. Like boom, hit that. Because by the way, guess what? They hit it. They call it again later. All right, let's roll.
Important to know, just national narrative on this, or maybe even this is just local, is that Carson Beck was awful the first half, and second half it was back to Carson Beck. These are back-to-back plays here in the middle of the fourth quarter that we're showing you that he didn't take the open man. So still got in it, still made some plays. You still saw a lot of good Carson Beck. Still some stuff he needs back. This has to be a first down here.
I mean, the reason you're in the game is because he's making plays and making throws. But there's also ones where it's like,
yeah,
exactly. But it's also ones where it's like, okay, you could have even made more.
One-on-one. Let's throw it up.
Like you scored in 2 plays here. I think the one right before this was the throw, with really good throw down the seam to Evans, and then you take here. And the biggest thing with this is you at least give like we talked about the Colby throw. You at least give your guy a chance. Nice little work with the hands by Arian. Offensive pass interference was such a call, by the way, of the night. There was one, by the way, that was on Alabama that was very blatant, that was missed. But
doesn't this feel indicative of what Georgia's intended game plan was, which is you have a young secondary and we have a quarterback that can throw it down the field, so we're going to take shots?
Yeah.
I mean, I know that this point
from the top,
it kind of called for that, but this seemed like a theme for Georgia that Mike Bobo felt good about this.
And the other thing, I can't stress this enough. Pause it for a snap here. To me, and this is me watching him over the past year and a half, play action puts him in a better rhythm and timing for everything. Like that's a rhythm throw. And now you get accurate. Now you give your receiver a chance. All right.
So I love this. Let's hang out in the huddle. Get out of here quickly. Y'all have to assess some stuff. By the time you're set, Dylan Bell, maybe the best running back on the team, sweeping the
that's not actually. If he's not, he's up there. He's actually really good running the football, yes. But you block your tail off right here. Do a good job, except for Truss. Didn't get the other thing, but still, Delp, Lucky, and Colby Young makes him widen out and then gets in the way. Perfect. Doesn't hold, just gets in the way. Easy touchdown.
These are by far your best 2 blocking tight ends. Lawson Lucky gets better and better with each game.
So now and he got the lion's share of the tight end snaps, and I think he's going to keep getting more. Now it's 33-28, and talk about a call. Like just perfection.
And then Belt,
and heck of a job by him. Much like, unfortunately, the next play that happened, like.
Okay, you say heck of a call. Explain to me, heck of a call. Why? Circumstances, confidence. Tell me what you're thinking.
All of that. It's just, hey, we're going to go take a shot and think that they're not, and you're betting on the defense not taking a shot. If I could, get a new mouth and talk correctly right now, but you get an in breaking route and then go double move, boom, sit, come up. This, by the way, I think this is basically, if you look back to Bama versus Texas last year, this is what A.D. Mitchell scored on when Caleb Downs was playing safety. Like that type of same play, just a great call. And like you think about that, the drives that they scored on, 6 plays, 80 yards to make it 33-21, 4 plays, 78 to make it 33-28, 1 play, 67. Like the explosiveness when you are in rhythm and you connect on these things, it's there. You just got to do it on a more consistent basis.
Then Ryan Williams does his thing on the sideline. They get to tell us he's 17 years old. Georgia right back in it, but you do have 3 timeouts. You're approaching midfield, 1:40. a lot of time to do some work here.
Yes, and this was the one that was a little off to me. But again, you're bailing from a clean pocket. I know you want to drift to create a throwing lane. I get that. I get drifting to create a throwing lane, and there's not really anywhere to go with this football.
I mean,
so go straight.
Not
ahead
at the time. If you
that's not there mainly
maybe.
Because the safety. I think the safety's mainly just floating.
The safety's bailed out on that because he's floating with back.
Because you're heading, you're bailing. Yeah. But this is also the point to me where you don't need everything. You just need positive. And if you stay in the pocket right there, I think you can go get 3 yards and just a couple yards here running. And even if it's not even that, but throw it away. It's not the end of the world. But that's the other thing, just drifting. And I get trying to find the throwing lane. But
Micah Morris is letting this guy run out here. Like he's riding with him that way. And that's just goes right into where Beck is. Yeah, I agree.
Oh, well. Get some plays, make a plays down there. All right, Dayne. I've screenshotted this and put it on Twitter because if you've ever played two-hand touch or backyard football, this is one where
flip it.
To me, you're running right at the guy, and then because you're nowhere near the line of scrimmage right here, and then and by the way, he's flat-footed right now, and you flip it out to ETN, like fake it this way or look this way, look that way. That was one where I was like, oh, that could have been something. But still, you get positive. You're moving forward. That's fine. Not a backbreaker, but a play that to me that could have been made.
Okay. And then this gets us right here at the end. I just point out the situation again. 49 seconds, 2 timeouts. You're at the 20.
And 2 things. One is people say, well, why are you throwing this ball? Especially with 48 seconds to go kind of thing. I think it's because Young had just toasted the guy on 2 plays before this. And it was underthrown. Like he was 2 steps past him. If that ball, not this one, the 1-2 plays before this was thrown into the end zone, like where whatever that is, it crimson. Yeah, where the C is. If he throws that thing in 2 plays before that, where the C is, it's a touchdown and it's a defining moment kind of thing. And I think this is the sort of workshopping theory. Watching back with the down the field throwing over the past few games. Independent. Did you watch the movie Major League 2?
Been a while, but yes.
So Major League, Rick Vaughn, the glasses, comes out, throws gas. What does he do in Major League 2? At the beginning,
refresh me.
Messes with the Terminator, the Eliminator, all these off-speed pitches, all this. When in the end, he should just throw gas. And I think that's what the sort of shift for him has been. I think it just seems like he's trying to put more air into the football, trying to give receipt because he overthrew guys last year. Just go do what you do. Go be into the Major League 2 Rick Vaughn. Throw the gas. Just because I think the pendulum has swung back the other way to where there's chances and plays that can be made that you're just not. Like the ball to Arian, he just let that thing rip. So
that second quarter sequence, I had a former player who had been around Georgia during the Carson Beck. He was going to be the starter versus UAB, and then Stetson Bennett ended up getting the job because Carson Beck did not have a good week of practice. And that former player told me that at the end of second quarter sequence, the look on Beck's face was the exact same look that he remembered seeing that week of practice from Carson Beck. Now, does that mean a whole lot? I don't think anyone's going to have a great look on their face when you get down 28-0 on the road at Alabama.
And you're throwing bad picks.
Right.
And almost picks.
You're making bad decisions, and you're the quarterback. Understand all of that. That's a concern for Georgia. That's worrisome that your quarterback that is your team superstar, you are only going to go as far as that guy can take you with this team. And that's the case for most any team in the country. You have to have a quarterback that can take you those places. For him to get downtrodden like that is a concern. For him to come back in the second half and help lead you to a lead, I mean that's
That's what
something that's
that's the
something to
takeaway. If
yes.
because you always, to me, I'm very much a look at the bright side person. The bright side is you got dunked on in the turnover battle. What was -3 in the turnover battle, and you had a lead in that game after being down 28-zip. Like that's there. And yes, it is Armed Patriot, just a football game, but
Yeah, it is.
we love it, and we love breaking it down, and
We love
it's
talking
fun.
ball.
And
We love telling jokes. I don't think that
it's
y'all are wanting a lot of jokes today. So
and speaking of talking ball, I think we're going to do more of it and look specifically at the defense.
we're going to go double live tonight because it's Georgia,
Yeah.
Alabama. And that was one of the best football games I've ever seen in terms of like entertainment.
It was fun.
Yeah,
It
mistakes
was
everywhere.
a lot of up and down, a lot of heart issues for people.
Well, the only reason we get to do what we do, tell some jokes, watch the film, have some fun, not take ourselves really seriously. Because why? It's because ASW Distillery supports what we do. They they really love this UGA Sports YouTube channel and the platform that it gets them to tell you about the Hunker Bourbon, which is making its way around the state of Georgia. Anytime you buy Hunker Bourbon from ASW Distillery, some proceeds of that go to Classic City Collective, helps Georgia NIL efforts. You'll remember they had the Hunker Vodka last year, so now they have Hunker Vodka, Hunker Bourbon. Same deal with both of those. If you're buying another vodka, it starts with the letter T. You're also supporting Texas because, I'll just say it, Tito's gave a lot of money to the University of Texas and what they got going on. So you can make that decision with your wallet as well. Distilled by Dogs. 5 of the 6 founders graduated from UGA from ASW Distillery. Brent, that Oconee Gold barbecue sauce. We're getting that first little nip of fall weather here, so we're getting into like legit tailgating season. Not the like we have to show up for a little bit. This is all day tailgate time, and you need Oconee Gold barbecue sauce. Whether it's at home or whether you go tailgate at Sanford Stadium for Georgia and Auburn for homecoming, get Oconee Gold barbecue sauce to be the flavor of your tailgate. I don't think you will have anybody that has any negativity, any disappointment, and the variety is fantastic. OconeeGoldBBQSauce.com. Put in the
code. Don't forget the code. Yep.
Film Don't Lie. Get you 20% off. You're the numbers guy. 20% saves a lot of money, especially if you're doing a bulk order.
And I think if you do the whole thing, like the whole lineup, I saw somebody on the event put they've got the whole lineup, so they got the 20% off and they get the free got free shipping.
Beautiful. Breda Pest Management also supporting Film Don't Lie, the official pest control of the Georgia Bulldogs. They protect Sanford Stadium. They can protect your home as well. BredaPest.com. What do you coach with Georgia's offense from this point on? Is it the positives of the second half? You got to clean up the turnovers, though, right? There's some decision making from the quarterback that will be addressed, but I didn't see panic from anybody about the quarterback. Maybe online and maybe from some fans and maybe even some people called for Gunnar Stockton. I didn't see any of that from Georgia. I saw total faith and confidence that Carson Beck was that guy.
And I think he should. Like, there's no doubt in any way, shape, or form for me that is the case. Now to me, it's about finding the balance of the running and throwing. Because you didn't have enough of that. And granted, the game situation dictated that it became a drop back game. But finding that balance, and the other thing is, your quarterback's not a running threat. I think they got to find some extra diversity in the running game. We talked about that in the preseason, because there's just certain things like the toss play, and certain things with some of the inside zone stuff they do, it just doesn't work right now because your quarterback's not a running threat.
I'll give you 3 guys that at this point in the season, and I'm not in practice, so I don't make these decisions. I'm not informed on if they're ready for the prime time in this way. 3 guys I just want to see touch the ball more or get involved more with the offense. Branson Robinson, I'm still super high on him and his potential. Nate Frazier, and for all the reasons people said, even though I'm a Cash Jones guy too, don't be taken away from Cash to do it always. And then to me, the other is Jaden Riddell, because I think Georgia can search for some improvement at tight end overall. And just knowing the body that guy has, there's some potential in there. Again, I don't see how he practices. I don't know how well he knows what he's doing yet. He's young. Yep. That's for coaches to do their jobs. I just know that the prospect of Jaden Riddell is very exciting for Georgia. Can that manifest itself into playing time at some point in the year? I'll be curious to see if Todd Hartley begins to make some of those changes, because as you say, it does look like Lawson Lucky getting more and more and more of the reps as compared to maybe Oscar Delp and even some one tight end sets. Okay.
It's fun. Let's talk some defense now.
We
'cause
are.
They had a bit of an issue.
We're
early.
watching live. We're going to re-up. Give us about 5 minutes, and we'll go live for Georgia defense versus Alabama. Thanks, everybody, for watching Film Don't Lie from UGA Sports.